Right, wrong, or indifferent. I think here we are.
Are we on?
I think so. This is live and direct. It's been a while. Think we're gonna remember how to do this?
I've been here all day trying to get this to work right.
Yeah.
I still remember the first episodes. We were trying with earplugs, and we tried to remote people in, and they kept. Oh my God, it was horrible.
We've come a long way. This is episode 125.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get into this intro, and then we're gonna talk with Angie Evans.
Yay!
Right.
Pieces though.
What's up, everybody? My name is Josh, the artist known as JRB5. We got Kevin, and below us we got Angie Evans. This is Art Assault, episode 125.
Wow,
that's a lot. That's a lot. Even though we had 9 last year, but,
yeah,
you know, it was a year.
We almost got one every month.
Almost.
We're gonna try to pick it up this year. Hopefully, we can do 2 a month this year, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get. Of course,
a lot of things changed because now we got to travel a little bit to get to a studio, and there's a little bit of setup time here, and
we're
everything else. So.
Good segue on that. Huge shout out to Middle of the Road podcast, letting us use their studios. And we used to take everything home, tear everything down, and gradually we just left a little bit more and a little bit.
They gave us permission to leave it too.
He
that
did from the beginning. Coaches,
you accidentally moved in.
He's given us our own little space, which is really cool.
That's really neat.
In fact,
what's up, Marcella?
Yeah, we didn't even have to move the table this time, did we? It was already set up.
But he if he needed it, he could use it. So that's why I kind of figured.
Because there's cameras and mics on this table too. So it's not like...
I mean, pretty much all we had to do is just plug the laptop in, and we're good to go. Now, so.
Well, I plugged the laptop in several times today, obviously.
Jiggle things. We've got Kevin's started a canvas behind us. It's got some texture, some stickers. And...
I brought out my 5-year-old me.
Yeah.
And went, ooh, I pulled out my markers and just started scribbling stuff.
Yeah, where was he hiding that? Where was he hiding that?
Somewhere in one of my cavities of my brain.
What's up, Santia?
What's that say? Hole up? Hole out? Hole what? I can't even see that far. So
Hello.
Art, hello.
We're gonna get into Art House 310.
I'll go ahead and get started, and you can do your questions and stuff, or do you want me to?
No, go for it. Whatever.
All right.
Ain't no rules. That's rule number 1 to life in general. They really
I was asking you permission because you're the head viewer.
Don't step on that. Yeah, we've been fighting the camera, so it's like But you took this month off for the new season, the 2025, and we're kicking it with Kevin, myself, and then Bryce McCoy. And what anything changing from last year to this year? Any big changes?
No, not really. We just needed a break. So we usually take January off. You know, it's right after the holidays. People are peopled out, and so are we. And it's cold and gross, and it's a good time to do any housekeeping kind of maintenance stuff and just take a break and not have to think about much for at least a couple weeks. By the time we start getting information for the February show, we get about 2.5 weeks off. But man, sometimes it feels like an eternity because we're just like, what do we do? We don't have 10 million things going on. What's happening? So
it's definitely hard to not do anything.
Yeah,
I'm always doing something, and like I said, I was done before it got cold because I paint in the garage, and I like painting in the garage because I don't have to worry about making a mess. You know, the old studio, the carpet was ruined anyhow. So
yeah,
you know, I didn't have any care, but where I'm at now, I don't want to get paint all over the place. So
How old is this water?
it's new.
Okay.
The cup may be old.
The cup. Okay.
Yeah. But remember your mic's up there, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to it.
Okay.
I was looking down at the water.
But so yeah, I like painting in the garage, but it got cold, and it's not. That's on the list of things to do is to insulate that so I can at least not freeze completely.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
But
It's always nice to have a spot to shut the door and leave and not have to clean it all up and
yeah,
and just come back to it later.
So this is like the first time I've painted in at least a month, other than painting some gold on the big daddy there. I painted gold on the edge of that, and that was it.
Yeah.
2 months, 3
I have
months.
about 1,000 10 by 10, so I did about 6 10 by 10.
Yeah, I think there's roughly 1,000 of them in here.
Yeah.
He's
got 1,000 more. We got.
I literally finished like 5 of them over this last weekend.
Yeah, it's you said about 115.
Yeah, I think there's right around 115 between the 3 artists, and we don't have a huge space, but we can hold a lot of artwork, and all those years of playing Tetris really pay off when you got to figure out what piece fits where. But it's all in here, and it's gonna be a packed show.
I'm hoping. I'm always nervous. It's always. As an artist, that's one thing that you shouldn't get into it for validation, external validation, but you still do. I mean, I think it's how we're wired. I mean, we feel better about it if somebody else likes it. I mean, we could love it to pieces, but it just doesn't hold true if somebody else says, "Hey, that's cool,"
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's pretty normal, just human nature kind of stuff too. So
yeah.
Yeah, lots of art on the walls. There's art on the tabletops. We have about 5 tables in each front gallery to prop art up on. So lot to look at, lot to choose from, lot to take home.
Take it home, exactly. Yes. Got to pay them bills. But,
yep.
So the event on Friday, it's the first Friday, and it's 6 to 10, correct?
Yep.
So 6 to 10, and we'll be there. I think Kevin and I are gonna try to make appearances to all the Tuesdays and Thursdays. At least be there. Kevin said he'd probably bring in paintings and just sit there and paint, and I don't know if I will. It just depends.
I'll probably do my soft pastels. I'm thinking about, because I can just sit there and not have to bring in a palette.
Yeah.
I
don't think we probably won't have room the night of the.
Oh no, I'm
definitely not.
I can paint some people. Body paint
as they walk in.
It goes by really quick. Surprisingly, it's kind of just like a blur. However, your feet do fill the time that you've been standing on the concrete floors. So
definitely
get home and then you're like, oh man, everything hurts.
Yeah. Like I said, I kind of toyed with the trying to go out afterwards, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we usually don't make any commitments on First Fridays because by the time it's done and we're just spent. But it's a good time.
You have other friends doing First Fridays too, and you want to catch them.
Yeah. I haven't even looked at the show lineup this month yet. I've just been trying to remember what I do in life after I've been on break for a while. But there's usually a handful of shows.
Yeah, like I said, what else? What did we?
Let's see. The show hangs through the 23rd. Is that right?
That sounds right. Yes.
Yep.
That's the last, not the second to the last Sunday, right?
Yep. So there'll be a closing reception on that Sunday from 1 to 4. And throughout the show, we'll have open gallery hours Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 in the evening, and Sundays 1 to 4. So if you don't get to make it to the opening, there'll be some other times to come check it all out. If you get to make it to the opening and it's crowded and you want to come back, there's time to do that too.
Yeah.
But if you do see a piece that you can't live without, get it first, because it's always the one that somebody else sees.
Yeah.
And there's usually
Anything
like,
else, I'll come
yeah.
back for it, you know.
Yeah, it's so funny how that works. It happens all the time. You know, somebody's thinking about something and then they see somebody else buy it and they're like, I was going to buy that. It's like, sorry.
Shouldn't have waited. Shouldn't have waited.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, like I said, I'd asked you, and I knew the answer when I'd asked how about pricing, but I just was hoping there was like, you know, X plus Y minus, you know, Z equals this is what you should price it for. But, you know, there's not. I knew there wasn't, but, you know, I was like, maybe.
You know, it's such a hard thing, and it's sometimes kind of individual. And there's a lot of variables in it, and there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
But you know, some people do use a formula to price their work because they know exactly how much their cost of goods are. It's consistent. They do the same type of artwork, use the same materials, so they have a pretty good grasp on that. And some people, you know, myself included, we're all over the place, and so I kind of base things on size a little bit, just because it's easy to do that. And it's easy for somebody else looking at it saying, oh, okay, that's an 8x10, that's an 8x10, that's an 8x10. And they're all within $10 or $15 of each other. But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, it's, you know, there's two kind of ways to look at it. You can price it to sell, and hope that that's what happens, or you don't really want to sell it and you're not too upset if you take it home and you want to, you know, make sure that you get a certain value out of it and do it that way too. There is such a thing of pricing things too low. People wonder why it's so cheap.
Yeah.
So to each their own. Either somebody's going to find, you know, something interesting in a piece and be attracted to that piece and want to take it home, or they're not.
Yeah, exactly. I think I went towards the bottom. I went, you know, a lot with what we do at the vending, at the, you know, just because I would say I would rather have more of a, you know, I mean, as soon as I hit send, I instantly regretted it, you know, because I mean, I wanted to put $1,000 on everything,
right?
You know, it's like, you know, I know it's a business and I know everybody's in it to you know, we gotta pay the bills, we gotta pay for the rent, so I want to, you know, have a good turnout on that. So that's why I priced where I did, and I pretty much kept the same with what I would normally do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. And I wasn't even gonna. I was trying to figure out the percentage for the shop taking stuff out, and then I said, you know what? We're known in Wichita anyway, so it's going to be harder for us to really adjust those kind of prices. Maybe when we travel more, you know, get that world fame where we have like our own little
Joe Rogan money.
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
Where do you get that?
From Joe Rogan.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, we all do this first and foremost because we love it. So nobody's, unfortunately, very few people are getting rich off art. You know, it's just one of those things that it's awesome and it's everywhere, but it's definitely one of those things that when things, you know, get expensive, it's easy to say, I don't need that. No. And we've had to do that too. And so at the end of the day, we're just here doing what we need to do to support art and support local artists in Wichita. And we really enjoy doing that. So.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, what I've learned over this last year and everything was, you know, I mean, I'm not going to be able to get my time out of it. You know, I'm not put X amount of time in there. I can't break it down like I do the day job. You know, it's not a trade for time, you know. So, but one thing I really enjoyed in several of the last pieces, I would get off in my own little world. I would create, you know, all these stories. I mean, I almost thought about writing the stories, putting them down, and you know, as an incorporation. But you know, I don't know if it really. I want to keep that story to myself. How I the world I had when I created it. I don't want to give that to everybody.
Yeah,
that's mine. You know, you can't have that. You can have the picture I created in that world. But you know, so that's where I was at.
Yeah, and people really have connections to stories too, and whether you want to give the story or, you know, talk about it a little bit or whatever, if somebody asks you about it, but that's also why we have the artist here in attendance, because people like to come and see the work, but it's a whole different level of being able to talk to the artist and kind of getting in their brain a little bit and say, you know, how did you come up with this? what were you thinking about, whatever. And sometimes it's like, oh, you're thinking about that. Okay. And so maybe you disconnect from it. I don't know. But usually this story is kind of more of the hook of it. You already like it. The story kind of hooks you a little bit because now you have some sort of emotional investment into it too. So, and it's just really neat to see people react to art, because especially if it's not something that they're used to, it's just really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I want to be fun to do a Ferris Bueller clip of it. The museum scene. Do it at the get there early, and we'll get it done.
Yep.
Well, I'm bringing in a photographer, by the way, too. So
one more body. Yeah. See,
turn the ship around and make it look like we're presentable over
well,
here.
I'm bringing in Eddie Legacy. I don't know if you know who he is. He does some videography stuff too, and he'll do these like shorts and stuff like that. So it's all for helping promote us and the shop. So
very cool.
Yeah. So when I do events, I don't mess around. I was taking photos myself at a show last night. So
yeah,
I don't mess around when it comes to, I don't know what I did. I just kind of threw some colors up there and stuff. Hey, you're talking about, that's what I like too. Too many people as artists will put their stuff into a gallery and then you never see the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of art I like. And there's art that'll sell on its own, obviously. But I always feel they're buying me. They're not buying my art, and like you said, people want the story. People want me to say something, and they may just buy it because of that.
Yeah.
Or they may just buy it because, he was such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may not like it because, he's he was too overbearing, blah, blah, blah. Because I've had that happen too. But I don't get desperate about sales because I'm like, well, if you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it. If not, there's another show. And
you're never going to make everyone happy. Yeah, that's just
amazes me when I got a piece that I'm like, man, I nailed it on this piece, and I'm still holding on to it. It's been like 10 years later. Like, no one wants it. Then I got another piece where I'm like, and we've even talked about it. Yeah, I think we're going to redo this next show, and then it sells before we get it to the next show. So I had one. There was one we did, sold it like 2-3 years ago. And it was one of our weird ones where we just kind of did stuff. It was like a hand, and then had this weird bee. Remember with the poison on the stinger thing, or it wasn't even really a bee. Somebody was walking by during a show I had it up there, and they go, "How much for that?" And I told them the price. They go, "That one's really speaking to me." I was like, "Okay, I don't know what it's saying to you, but it's." It's really,
you really just never know. It's just, and if you try to figure it out, I mean, it's just one of those things that once you think you have a whole handle on it, something surprises you.
Yeah, I almost didn't name any of my pieces, but you told me to name them.
Yeah, logistically, it's really hard to keep them all straight if they don't have.
Well, I put numbers on them.
Indicator. Yeah, and that would have been
1, 2, and 2, 3, and 3. Yeah. So, because I didn't feel like right. So.
I've kind of found out that names also are a conversation starter too, especially if it's kind of something that you wouldn't peg for the art piece. Some people really get inquisitive about like, well, how does that connect? And so it's a good way to get people.
I just had a lot of people come up to me and, hey, how much for the snot goblin? And I what? Yeah, there's snot coming out of the nose. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It was basically a goblin painting. Mm-hmm. And I had a little, and that's what they focused in on. So they call it the snot goblin. I'm like, okay. So I have never named them myself because I would probably have said goblin painting.
Yeah.
So I just never got into naming them because of that kind of thing. So
yeah. Sometimes it's kind of difficult. I'm a big fan of not really thinking of much when I work, and so it's usually something, some song that might be playing or something associated with one of the colors in it or something like that. But
yeah, when I do live, I know Josh doesn't like doing live as much as I do, but in fact, I'm doing 2 live shows. One in March 8th. I think that one's at Harvester Arts. That's Rejuvenation. Eddie Legacy. He's also got a clothing line thing, and so he's got some models, and he wants me there live painting.
That's cool.
And then March 15th, my band's playing at the Wave, and then after my band's done playing, I'll be doing some art. And so those will be actually themed somewhat. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but they'll be themed, because the one is Ides of March, so you can imagine there's going to be knives and blood, and the other is Rejuvenation, but they're celebrating Black History Month and all that stuff. So it's going to be towards that a little bit, and we'll see. You know, I'm going to try something that I've never tried before. I do that live all the time. I've never tried it all, but I'll do it for the first time live. Yeah, a lot of people want to practice, and I'm like, I don't even want to practice. I'm going to show up and see if this works.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been lucky on that part of it. So
yeah.
Did you guys talk about the history of why you started up your gallery and stuff?
No.
I mean, I know what the story is because we talked before.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The short version is I had all this crap in my house and I was tired of moving it around. And we didn't have quite this much stuff before we got this space, but that was kind of the kick in the butt to say, oh, let's maybe get this out of the house and like just have living space again and be able to put it somewhere where we can walk away and shut the door and not have to worry about if somebody's coming over or, you know, anything like that. So that was kind of the initial push of it. We wanted to really invest in Wichita and this area down here, kind of adjacent to downtown Wichita. And so that was the second part of it, is we wanted to make sure that we had a commercial investment. If we were going to do this, we were going to buy the building, because we didn't want to get in somewhere and get comfortable and have some landlord, you know, jack up the rent and have to deal with all that stuff. So, so it's kind of two-part that way. And the other part of it is just, we have seen, myself included, in the Wichita art scene throughout the years, it was really hard to get in if you're just starting out. You know, some of the first questions that I got when I was starting a couple, 2.5 decades ago or so, was, where else have you shown? And it's like, well, I've not had any other official shows, but I have this much work ready. I have this, and that. And that was kind of if you haven't shown anywhere else, then we don't want to take the risk, basically. And so it was just kind of this, there's no entry point. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, when we did this, we really created an entry point for artists who are just starting out, who are willing to do the work, and pair them with artists who maybe have been doing this for a while. So that way, you know, they're not just learning from us, but they can learn from other local artists and hear their stories of, you know, how their journeys went, and get them started on the road to showing, so that way they can continue to exhibit in Wichita or beyond, and get some background behind that, get some resume built up. So,
yeah, that's the story I knew. So
yeah,
it's funny because this is my first gallery show where I'm a feature. I've been in some other bigger shows, but where I'm not a feature. And we were talking about a foot in the door at the Wichita Art Museum, which, like you said, I was hoping they'd keep doing it, but they didn't. Maybe someone hears us now. Hey, you know, that was really cool, because you were even getting like some grade school and high school kids, and then you're getting some established professional artists. Then you're getting some people like me. I'm kind of like a street artist, whatever. I don't even know if I'm a street artist, but it made me think one day. I go, you know, I actually got art all over the world because I was in the military, and almost everywhere you go in the military, I was painting for my unit.
Yeah,
like whatever symbols and stuff. So I got stuff in Iraq, Africa. Anywhere I stayed more than a week, I probably painted on a wall somewhere.
That's really cool.
And it's too bad I didn't take advantage of and take pictures of all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that can say that.
Or I lost them all somewhere.
I'd made a post about this. I would love to sit down in like the last 5 years, because that's when I really started picking up doing art again. But I would like to try to put a number on it, because there's pieces that we'll see here, there, and be like, I don't even remember doing it, you know?
Yeah.
The biggest fun is when you go into someone's house that you've not met before. They may know you a little bit because they bought the piece from you. And I've seen some of our work and my work and some other people that I've worked with. It's like the feature piece above their mantle. And you're just like, no way. It's like,
it's super humbling and just like,
oh my God.
there's not a whole lot of feelings that you can get like that are just, it's important enough for them that they have it front and center. It's awesome.
Never met the person. In fact, I went to one house. They go, yeah, a guy named Hansen did that. I go, I know, that's me. That's my piece. I'm like,
there was a post a couple years ago, a year or so ago, about one of mine. Somebody had got it from somebody else, and anybody know this artist? I think you tagged me in it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. No, that's actually about my band. Somebody from Salina sent me a text like a couple of days ago. Have no clue who this guy is. Said he loves my music and he loves one of the songs called Stomp and Shout. And he goes, man, I'm playing that one over and over and over again. I'm like, it's kind of humbling because I'm like, I hate my voice, but I love the music that I'm doing. So,
well, speaking of your band, the Haters Coalition is March 8th. The next one you got?
March 15th, Ides of March. The March 8th is the Eddie Legacy's Rejuvenation. We talked about it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Both of them I'm going to be doing live art there, and they're going to be themed more towards what's going on the Ides of March. If you don't know what it is, get in the history books, look it up. About somebody getting stabbed 1,000 times. And then Eddie Legacy, it's his rejuvenation, but it's about recreation. He wants to push a little bit about the Black History Month and other stuff like that. And I don't shy away from any of that at all, ever, because I've been dealing with it my entire life. So, and I've always welcomed people. And so it was kind of, they even thought of me when they said, let's do a live piece and have it do toward Black History Month, which I'm honored because, well, obviously the obvious reasons, but I'm just like, wow, but they've seen me do stuff culturally before. So, so I won't back down. I won't. I don't care who you are or what you are. I don't even know who I am. Like, I was adopted at birth. So who knows what I really am? Probably a Martian or something.
Yeah, definitely an alien.
I'm an alien. So those extra eyeballs in my back.
Have you ever done one of the DNA test things?
Nope, don't want to, and don't plan on it. Nope.
Afraid of the reason what you might find out.
Yeah, my sister did one, and you would think we'd be close, but we're polar opposites. I swear, one of us was adopted. My intentions, Kevin. Hold on a second. My intentions on that were to pull the tape off. So I don't know. Maybe you want to put maybe use some of that green tape. Put every time we paint, throw a layer of tape.
Yeah, because initially I was thinking about pulling the tape I put on there off, and then I put the frame thing on it. And then we might even pull that off. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
But no, I always kind of grew up thinking my grandpa was more Indian than he was. I mean, me and my sister were like, my sister was like 0.0, 2 or something, some very minute. And turns out at least she's more English or more Irish. So apparently we're from Ireland. I know we're from England too, because of my dad's side. But my mom's side, we can only go back to my grandpa because his mom died at his birth, obviously. And so I think he was raised by his aunt and his uncle. And so he took their name and all this stuff. So yeah, I tried to do the, what was the little leaf? The
Ancestry.
Ancestry.com. Yeah. I did that, when it first came out, and somebody had on my dad's side had gone through and already done it. But, that's a huge side of the family, go up to Ohio, and that's where my dad was from. And, we're related to everybody. My cousin would be like, oh, that's, somebody, cousin or something. And I'm like, okay, I see why dad went, moved to Kansas to find a bride.
Yeah. Somebody he's not related to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are interesting because they keep changing too. Like every few months, if you get back and look at it, it'll be different than when you looked at it. So I don't know all the details or science around it, but I think it has to do with how many people in your genetic history are doing it. The more people, the more information they have, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But it's very, very surprising sometimes.
Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, searched and searched for, my mom's dad, but couldn't get any further back. And, it was Oklahoma and Arkansas. So, I mean, that was still kind of, they weren't on the cutting edge of anything, not like, New York and, the big cities, even, 120 years ago.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting. I wish I could find more. I chased leads and leads and leads, I'd print off stuff and then the math wouldn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on the dad's side, we went back to like John Smith, and I was like, what? The same John Smith, but very, very common name. So
right.
I think I decided that it wasn't the same John Smith. And of course, the Disney story of Pocahontas isn't what really happened, but I don't think we can go to the history books for any Disney movie.
Right.
You mean the Lion King not real?
Peter Pan, that was one I was pretty shocked to hear the original story of it.
Yeah.
It's a very dark story. But
yeah.
That guy kind of looks like Peter Pan. Maybe it'll be one of the what was the boys called? The Lost Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are you all booked on the year?
Yeah, we are. 2025 is full, and we're going to be opening 2026 probably early spring. Start working on those bookings. We have every month through 2025 except for July this year. We're going to take July off this year too, because First Friday falls on the 4th.
Yeah.
And so we just looked at that as an opportunity to, let's take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long couple of years, and so sometimes that's a welcome, thing, and we might end up throwing something in there, but I'm probably not for this year. But.
Yeah. And you said 2020 is when you started, right? Did I miss that?
Yeah. June of 2020.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like, well, here we go.
Really going abstract on this one.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm just not seeing anything yet. It'll happen. And when it
or won't.
Or won't.
That's the fun about it. Like I said,
yeah.
We
haven't done one like this in a while either.
If you're not having fun with it, it's really not, I mean, that's the whole art, the whole point of art. Like I said, I think we talked about it when we were delivering the art, that it used to be the poor people that did the art for the rich people, and now it's like the rich people doing the art, and then the poor people go to Walmart to buy their art.
Yeah.
And one of the examples was podcasts right now. Look at all the famous people that are doing podcasts now.
Yeah.
5, 10 years ago, not so much.
No.
And now it's all, all these athletes that are already millionaires.
Comedians, musicians, artists.
Yeah.
And stuff and now they're doing it. So it's killing the audience for these people who've been trying to build the audience somewhat.
Yeah.
Maybe not killing it, but it's definitely changing the dynamic some.
Mm-hmm.
That just means
because they already have a audience base that just kind of follows them over there. So
right.
Skews the viewership a little bit if you're really looking at apples to apples. But
yeah.
Right.
But I get it. I get it. Why they want to do it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to do too, so it's hard to just be like, well, I'm just an athlete or I'm just an artist.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's kind of what comes with, this type of personality of being a creator is you just kind of want to keep creating, and regardless of what that, lane looks like, you just want to keep doing stuff. So, and that's the fun part about it.
Well, you do see so many musicians, especially famous ones. They do a lot of paintings and artwork too. All of a sudden, you're like, they've been doing it for years. Yeah. David Lee Roth started doing stuff, and you're like, and it was actually really good for what it was.
Yeah.
But because it was David Lee Roth, his stuff was selling, it'd be on a notepad and just sell for like $2,000. Whereas art maybe can turn it into an airplane and throw it around. So, yeah.
Well, that piece behind you, is that an acrylic, right? You stepping away, taking a break from the alcohol and alcohol and epoxy was your main go-to.
Yeah, alcohol, ink, and resin is my main medium. Yep, this one's acrylic. It's a commission piece for somebody that I've been staring at for a while.
Sometimes that's the process.
Staring at it and seeing all the things that aren't really right. And so I'll get back in there.
Commissions can be hard too, though, because it's somebody else's vision, and it's hard to. And I always tell people, it's going to become my vision. So if you want something different, you're going to have to stop me early, because otherwise, once we get to a certain part,
what you get, you don't throw a fit.
When I get done with a piece, if I have to do some minor details, that's okay. But if I have to, like, the person standing like a superhero and now you want them to stand like a rock star, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah. That's a different work.
Yeah, because now I got to redo the whole thing. I've had people
I always go into it. Yeah, I always go into it saying, this is a good reference, but you can give this reference to 10 people and you're going to get 10 different outcomes. So, it's only a reference. So, but we'll see how it turns out. I don't do a whole lot of anatomy or real life kind of stuff very often. Mostly because I don't have the time or patience to do it. I'd love to, but I just, I like the resin and alcohol ink because it's kind of a relatively quick process. And that, feeds the monster in there and gets it done pretty quick. And then I can be done with it and start a different one. And so we'll see how it turns out. Jury's still out.
Yeah.
So you say you can do resin stuff fairly. I cannot do resin stuff fast to save my life.
Well, I mean, you're kind of forced into it because it only has this working time of about 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I think that's what kills me because maybe it's not going fast enough. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. I hate doing resin.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. I'm actually trying to do some resin work now.
Yeah.
And it's kills me because there's always bubbles. I'm like, I don't want bubbles.
Yeah.
So I got a heat thing and everything, and I'm like, and then I'll go, okay, there's no bubbles, no. And then I come back later after it's dried, 24 hours, because once you set it, you got to just leave it.
Yep.
Come back a couple of days later. Where'd all these bubbles come from? I know there's a trick. I just can't figure it out.
A lot of it depends on what your substrate is, what you're putting it on. Canvases are notorious for having air kind of come through them. Yeah. A lot of it depends on how thick you're putting your resin on. There's a lot of tips and tricks that the more you do it, the more you figure out.
Well, that was another thing, like classes. Are you going to try to do any? Have you ever tried to do any like classes or stuff like that? We've got Carl Dahmer. He's an ink artist, and he's an amazing ink artist. Done lots of stuff.
He's done a lot of metal covers, it's metal
gore.
Band covers. Yeah, gore, horror stuff.
Yeah.
But he started. I don't know if you've seen that. He started a class.
Oh yeah, I went ahead and paid for it because I want to see if I can copy his technique.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I mean, I don't know.
So I'm getting the indie ink and all the stuff I normally don't use. I'm getting what he uses.
Yeah.
And just see what run with it, because there's been a few. Well, when we did that Misfits piece, it was because of him.
Yeah.
And then I've done some Rat Fink stuff because of him, and stuff like that. So
I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would work. I think you would have to probably be. He's kind of established and well known. I mean, I don't want to judge, but he's a lot of people known, so he's got a good following. And so it might work, but I think like me and Kevin did, and be like, who are these guys doing? I think that's the reception, but I don't know.
Well, you just go one step at a time. I do have one piece. Well, so do you, on an album cover.
Well, I mean, I've done several albums.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have one that was specifically bought for an album cover.
Yeah.
And then I've had plenty others bought so that they can make flyers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they used them for flyers anyway. Yeah. So
have you ever tried any of that, like classes in there, or the sip paints, pouring paints, whatever they call them?
Yeah, I laugh because I've been talking about this since we opened, and so I'm like, I'll when I get around to it, which is just like, okay, here we are, almost 5 years later, but one day we will do some workshop type of stuff, and we'll do some resin and alcohol ink and probably block printing and different kind of stuff that you don't really have to necessarily have a lot of skill already to do, and come in and try it out. But like with everything else, just need a little bit more time in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. I don't know.
Like I said, I mean, the universe, what I've noticed is that the universe seems to flow the way it's gonna flow. I mean, you can try to swim upstream or just let go, and
almost started one when a bar was going to open up in town. They wanted to do that like wine tasting and painting thing, and you'd pay like $40 and you get all the stuff. Then a local wine person would come in and say, this is this, and they'd pay whatever they pay. And I was specifically going to show them kind of my rockabilly type art that I do. Anytime I do Frankenstein monster, it's a rockabilly piece anyway. So, or rap fink, but so I could show them that technique for rockabilly, because there is a technique for it, and it's not quite the horror, it's not quite the whatever. It's a little bit in between somewhere. It's cartoony. I'm a cartoonist,
Yeah.
But almost did it, and then the place never opened up, and we had it all set up. And
yeah, there might be something to that, because you see a bunch of them that are, paint the landscape or paint the holiday thing or whatever, but you don't see a whole lot of kind of, a different subject matter. So I'm sure there's a market for that.
Yeah, I think the only time you really see it is when you go into like a tattoo shop and they're putting it on somebody's body.
Right. Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, and we all got tattoos. I saw your arm.
Yeah, got a few.
Yeah. And then, in fact, I'm going back soon to get some more. So
yeah.
But I don't know what it is. And most of those people start off as artists too, because there's 2 or 3 that are new tattoo artists, and they're all, well, in fact, you've had one, Michelle.
Yeah. We've had a handful of them. Had Michelle in here, Michelle Tripoli. We've had Chris Ramirez has had a show in here.
Right. But I'm just talking about they're fairly new tattoo artists. You've had some established tattoo artists come through.
Yeah. Too. Yep. Dennis McPhail's been in here with his stuff. He's a phenomenal artist. He started off as an artist and a hot rod guy before he got into tattooing, but he knows something.
Yeah, he's actually world renowned too, though. I mean, he's got that. What's that one shop he's at? Gosh dang it.
He's got Artists at Large.
Artists at Large. There you go.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah, it just went blank on me.
Yeah. But, they've got, their whole shop is just, there's so much talent in that place. But and just in Wichita in general, there's a lot of talent here in Wichita, regardless of the medium that you're using to create it in. And I think we have neighbors on both sides of the gallery now that are tattoo shops. And I mean, it's really neat to see kind of the stuff that they're creating too. And it's a whole different kind of art that, I mean, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, for you people that are fans of my art, I am working on some flash, and the flash is going to be with somebody. My mind is going blank right now. What's her name? The one that did all my tattoos. Help me out here. Oh man, I'm getting old. God dang it, Sav. Yeah, out of the one that's right there downtown. Gosh, huh?
The Crow?
Or no. She's not in that one. She's actually literally downtown in the old market now. Oh gosh, I hate when my mind goes blank. But I'm going to be doing some flash books for her.
That's awesome.
And we're doing a coloring book too, but I won't talk about that until we're better at doing the coloring book. Yeah. It's kind of a joke thing we started, and I've got a few pieces and she's got a few pieces, and then we're going to put it together, do a coloring book.
That'd be fun.
It's not going to be an adult, but it's going to be an adult coloring book. So it's not, well, it's not pornographic or anything, but it's you're going to have to get the humor.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be that kind of adult humor.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Got one of those on my to-do list too.
I tell you, there's out there too. One of my old bands called Rabbit 666. There's about 100 coloring books throughout the community that we did as a band.
That's pretty cool.
And if you can find them, good luck. I don't even know if I got one left. I used to keep one. I used to have one, and I don't know if it's still around or not. I'm terrible at archiving stuff. I used to archive all the time. Then I had like 5 or 6 big file cabinets just full of stuff, and it was just rotting away. So I just one day said, heck with it. So No, I wish I don't really wish I had it, but every once in a while I do. But stuff like that.
Yeah. There's only so much of that you can keep, though. I guess you can keep whatever you want, but after a while, you're like, man, what is this? All this stuff here. So I've gotten to the habit of just taking pictures of it and getting rid of the original.
In the past were better at archiving stuff than they are nowadays.
Because agree. Yeah.
Everybody stores it on their phone, then you lose your phone, then you lose that data that's on the phone, and then you start all over again.
Yep.
But if you don't put it in the cloud or Facebook or whatever the other storage ones you got out there, then it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the reason I got a computer so I could do some digital art. You want to know how much practice I've done in digital art? 0. I'm like, I pull it up and I look at it and I go, I like the feel, I like the touch, I like the smell, I like the mess.
Yeah.
And I still can't. And I appreciate what Josh does for it. I need to be able to get better at that so I can do stuff for t-shirts and whatnots, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I like the convenience of digital, because if you just, you're just sitting there and you only have 20, 30 minutes to do something, sometimes just getting out your supplies and getting started on a canvas or something takes that whole time. So convenience of digital, and it's come a long way.
Yeah, it has. And all I do is digitize my art. Outside of that, that's it. It's like, I need to break stuff down. I see what people do. And I think once you get your technique, it's like anything. It's because, I can do certain things, certain things, like you said, if somebody comes up to me and says they don't know how to draw, in about 10 minutes, I'll have them drawing cartoon dragons because they're so easy for me.
Yeah.
A circle with a circle and another circle and a couple more circles, then boom. Oh my gosh, there's a dragon there. And that same technique. Oh my gosh, there's a bird there. Or, oh my gosh, there's a snake. Or, oh, it's an ant. It's all the same thing. It's just you just put the circles in different spots.
It sounds really simple, but we all know it's not.
Right. Well, practice.
Yeah. Practice. There you go.
Practice.
Basic shapes.
But I think didn't somebody, was it between us or somebody challenged one time because they wanted something a little more real, so we did that portrait of Snoop Dogg. And I think a lot of people were surprised how detailed we can get with actual people.
Yeah.
Just that, why everybody else is doing it. So why do I need to do another portrait of Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
I do, but I don't. I'm never fully happy with my people, and I force myself to do hands, and it's one of these days I'll get it. One of these days I'll get it. I'll get it.
You do the 3 cartoon fingers. So you get rid of the pinky, get rid of the thumb, and you just have the 3 fingers. Yeah. It's like on The Simpsons. They only got 4 fingers.
Yeah, do the Mickey Mouse.
The thumb.
Put gloves on everybody.
The little mitten hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it good.
In fact, one of my pieces out there has the kind of mitten hand thing.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to make it look like they were like the hand guards, but that way I didn't want to draw the hands either. So it was like,
it's funny the lengths an artist will go to not draw hands and feet.
Well, it was at that festival we were at, so I'm still going fairly fast. I remember the wind kept blowing it down on the ground, and I was like, and then you got a hole in it from a shot. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every time I put it up, it blew somewhere. I was like, gosh, dang it.
Every time I try to draw hands, I immediately forget what they look like.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, how do fingers bend again? And so, on my phone, there's like a whole bunch of pictures of like hands holding in different ways. Because I'm like, I forgot how hands work all of a sudden. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'll be like looking at my hand because I go, which side do I put the thumb on when my hand is this way? Because if it's here, then I put it over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh shoot, I got my hands back. Do it feet too. Yeah. It's like,
I'm glad it's not just me.
The big toes on the outside, and you're like, what was I thinking? So then you make it into a boot so you can hide the toes.
Just go AI and give them 5, 6 fingers, and
or give them bird feet with like 3 claws. And
well, at least we know the robots don't know how to draw hands either, so we're still doing okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, those. Oh man, I've done some of those, and all of a sudden you see something that's got like a weird arm coming out of the one arm, and you're like,
"What's getting crazy?" I mean,
but there's people doing that, and then they claim it's their actual art.
Oh yeah, well,
and I'm like, where's your integrity? I can understand maybe using it as a reference. That's fine. References is not cheating. Yeah. But if you're literally taking that same piece,
I don't know. I'm sure the Inquirer, remember the Inquirer, the tabloids, I'm sure they loving the AI. I mean,
oh yeah,
they could just make all kinds of stuff up now. But I'll see like pictures of like musicians or something, and you know, they're like trying to tell the story, and there's like 3 of them, but the hand is like right over here, and there's like no way in hell that it could be the guy on the far side. And it's like there's one more, there's an extra hand on the shoulder, you know. It's like, what? And, you know, people are like, this is a great photo, you know. I mean, because it seems that the normal person that's not a creative, I can tell AI immediately. People sometimes do stuff in the work that's AI and
has a strange feeling to it. Very
it's
strange.
Getting better though, which is kind of scary. it's getting better.
Still tell. I don't know. I don't know. It misses the human. I guess I can sense the human in it, or not in it. You know.
Yeah. I saw something the other day that was like, we don't need AI to write and draw for us. We need it to do our laundry so we can write and draw. I'm like,
drive our cars to work. You know, here, type up my paperwork.
Yeah.
You know.
That is very true.
Because it's even writing music and it's writing the stories.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's even filming. You know, you can tell, but there's going to be a point where we can't tell. As well. Yeah, I mean, because remember the first digital artwork that came out on movies, remember, was that one detective show, and that was the digital piece was like a dragon or a gargoyle from the mosaic window thing came out, and that was the very first time they ever used digital imaging in a movie, and it was just all grayish black or whatever.
Yeah, you can. Movies have came along.
Nowadays you got green screen and, you know, got guys flying through the air, and it looks pretty real.
But I still think that's the reason they perfected it, is because it's human based. I mean, it's still a human going in there and making it look real.
Age of Ultron, that robot was not real.
Well, I know, but
and when they do
in general, I don't think AI will ever have enough to fool everybody.
We got Rhombas out there cleaning floors, and pretty soon they're going to take over houses.
Take over the houses, armed with knives.
Hey, if they want to clean the whole house, let's let them.
You got Alexa. I know you got Alexa, and hey, do this, do that. So
yeah,
we got about 8 minutes left here. I mean, we can wrap it up, but Art House 310 South Laura Street, Wichita, Kansas. All year it's gonna have art. The hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is that gonna stay the same, right?
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. We adjust a little bit for holidays and if there's big events going on in Wichita, but we try to stay pretty consistent.
Yeah, but first Fridays and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So check out. I'm excited to see what else is coming. You know, who else is coming? I think I missed one show last year, or just something came up and I couldn't even miss it, because even some of the ones I missed the first Fridays, I tried to come in and at least check it out. I was doing research trying to find the pricing, and then that confused, because like I say, there was people, you know, trying to, it was like,
I'd see somebody with a postcard piece, $2,000, and I'd see somebody with a piece that was just huge, $40, and I'm like,
it's all over the place. And
I already got my prices. I already have them. I don't even care anymore.
I stopped trying to guess.
I don't give up my day job for this. And if I do give up my day job, that means I got an agent and got pieces traveling all over the world. And I got deadlines. Then I got to build my own boxes because it's specialized art.
And you know, that doesn't sound like fun either.
One reason I know that. I had one of my college art teachers. She's dead now, but her name's Diane Lincoln. And I probably took it. I don't know. She's the reason I have a degree in art, actually, because I just kept taking classes. Next thing I know, she goes, "Hey, you got enough for a degree, you know?" And I went, "Oh, okay." It was before I even had a degree, so my first degree was actually art, mainly drawing. Ooh. And but she had these pieces that she was shipping over to like Europe and stuff, getting like a couple $100,000 for. But by the time she paid her agent, who got 50%, she had to deal with shipping. And when you got a big, huge piece that takes a special box, you're talking how many hundreds of dollars just to ship it, plus insurance. So by the time she got done, she got maybe $5,000 or $6,000 out of it.
Yeah,
but it's still okay. I mean, she signed the contract, and that's what she agreed to. But still, people don't realize, But she had a guy traveling to Europe all the time, selling her artwork for her. So heck yeah, I'll do that.
All right, so everybody, all million people watching, we want you out there. They'll make it where we can't walk. It's so hot, and I'm hoping it will. I think we're going to be thawed, so I think it's not going to be cold. At least there's not going to be ice on the ground. I think all the ice is melted by now.
And we're going to have a couple of musicians stop by. Santia Soul's one of them.
Yeah.
And my guy named Michael Strout. He does a ukulele. He didn't get put on the thing because he didn't know. This guy here didn't know.
You gotta tell the guy. You gotta tell the guy that.
Well, I told you he was coming, but I just didn't ever give you a name.
And special guest.
I thought he was accordion.
But he does. He plays accordion.
Oh, okay. According to you, he plays accordion.
Yeah, I've sang with him. He plays accordion. We were fairies together. In fact, he may play a song. I may end up singing it.
I don't ever want to grow up enough to where I can't laugh at that. Silly little.
How many shows did I miss because I was out doing fairy stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I got fairy business. I can't make it that day. I'm kind of taking a break right now from it. Did it for 6, 7 straight years. And Renaissance fairs are no jokes when you're doing the lane acts for 10 to 12 hours a day. And I see why a lot of performers don't do a whole lot after 60 because I'm feeling it. So.
All right, so here was the slide for Friday. Like I said Bryce McCoy does landscapes, a lot of beautiful landscapes there. I clicked the button too fast.
Yeah, when he showed up with like that 20 tubs of artwork he had, I was like, holy cow.
It was 2 tubs, was it not? Did I miss more tubs?
Nope, it was 2 tubs, but he had it.
But by the time he pulled it out, I was like, it exploded. I'm like, wow. Yeah. And we're walking in with this big giant pieces though. So I mean, different styles of art.
Well, and that's what's nice about having varied artists is there's always something for everyone. There's completely different styles, and it's just we try to make sure that we're pairing artists together that aren't doing the same thing or a similar thing. Yeah. So that way there is something for everyone, and it exposes people to a different type of art that maybe they wouldn't be exposed to before. So
even between us two, we got our own styles. When we mix it, it gets mixed, and sometimes I dominate it, sometimes he dominates it. But when we go separate ways, you can definitely tell the 2 different styles.
Yeah.
So
through the podcast, I've kind of sped my process up, but this last year I took my time on things. Like I said, I didn't really, and like I said, I created the stories. That was my fun way to do it. I mean, it was my escape. I do not like the real world. I would like to live in a painting all day, every day. Just let me just paint, I mean, that's my idea. Just let me paint. Somebody sell my paintings, pay the bills, keep the lights on for me, and just lock me back into the hole and shove some food under the door for me.
I haven't announced it too publicly yet, but I am retiring from my job in May.
Oh, congratulations.
And I'm really looking forward to becoming that creative all day long. Just see what happens. More likely I'll be the old guy sleeping all day and then I'll get off my lawn. But because I got I refinish furniture too, and I do some other things, and I just haven't lately. And but I want to get back into that. I just want to go full-time creative and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's the dream for me.
You still got 20-some years.
I could win the lottery, man.
Yeah, but you have to play the lottery to win the lottery.
There's that. Yep. One day,
something the universe will provide.
You know what? 25 years in the county, 29 years in the military. I think I might have earned something somewhere.
That's a hard-earned retirement. Yeah,
definitely. Well, all right. Well, thank you coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna chop it up, and we'll get some good content this last week and hit the promotional hard.
Yep.
I mean, I make stuff all the time. I'm always doing, so it's not for lack of effort with me. I don't know. I have failed 1,000 times, and I will probably fail 1,000 times more, but it's not for lack of trying.
Yeah, I keep sitting down trying to do something computer wise, and the next thing I know, I'm still over here painting normal, and I got my computer on, but I didn't touch it. Or I go downstairs to do some recording for some music, and I start playing, and then I get lost in what I'm playing, and then
you start rambling.
I'm trying to figure something out, and I don't turn anything on. And I'm like, oh shoot, I need to go to bed.
That's the life of a creative.
Yep.
Again, thank you, and we'll see you Friday.
Yep. See you on Friday.
Bright and early Friday evening.
Yep. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather cooperates with us and it's nice and can enjoy some art.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, if you don't come to us, there's about 20 other places doing First Fridays too.
Well,
so
you better come to us.
You should come to us.
Everybody.
You should come to us, but
For sure.
if you don't, get out and do local. Buy local. That's what I always want.
Yep. Or come to us after you go to the places. We're usually open just a little bit later than some of the other places. So to get kind of some stragglers who are trying to hit the other places first. So
yeah.
But you do it the whole month. A lot of places only do it that night. So
yeah.
So. All right. Well, thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Need to do the Beverly Hillbillies. Bye, y'all. Come back now.